Yes, sir. Don't save time, sir.
No, we don't
enjoy
save
the
time.
time.
We are already late. And most of the speakers so far have talked at the higher level, what needs to be done at the country level, what needs to be done by ministries. So let's come down and see what's happening on the ground. Some years back, very recent, I think 5-10 years back, Stanford University Education Department had done a study. They compared students from specific engineering colleges and they followed them for 4 years. From the time they entered in the first, second, third, fourth year, they did a comparative of India, Russia, China and US. So it was not a one-time, one-off study, but they followed those students through for 4 years. And you know what their finding was? They were trying to find out what is the kind of transformation that happens in the engineering college. So India was ranked 4th. Then they looked at another parameter, that what is the contribution of the input, that is the students coming in. And again the finding was that India was at the lowest. So we need to worry at what is happening. So when you say input, means people coming out of class 12. Now why that is happening? If people from Delhi have followed the news in the last few days, you must have seen this time the class 10 and 12 results, Delhi government has not announced, the result is extremely low. So what is being done is they are being re-evaluated so that the pass percentage increases. And this is not typical of Delhi. 9th and 11th. So ultimately going to 10th and 12th. So this is not typical of Delhi. I have information from other states also. There are some BJP ruled states and the other states. But why do they have to do it? We need to understand that we even today have a no detention policy up to class 8. And between there was a discussion that it has been brought down to class 5. But the latest is it was never notified. So what exists today is up to class 8, there is no detention. So maybe some private schools, they have interest to attract students to get admission, so they take some effort. But in most government schools, what is happening is, now because there is going to be 100% result, the school head, the principal, is now least bothered. He says, मेरे school का तो 100% result हो ही गया. Similarly, the teacher is also not bothered. And the parents of the students who are studying there, they say, हमारे बच्चे को पढ़ने का जरूरत क्या हो तो पास हो ही रहा है. And I know for sure where the teachers have caught the parent to the class. कि भाई आपका बच्चा पढ़ता नहीं है. So it's the other way. They say, आप कौन होते हो? हम बोलने वाले हमारा बच्चा पढ़ रहा नहीं पढ़ रहा. आपका काम है बच्चे को पास करना. And there are enough instances where the so-called test, the child hands over a blank notebook. This is what is actually happening. So we need to worry कि the problem जो आ रही है ना कि we need engineers for future. See, हम लोग का तो career खत्म हो गया जो भी है, whatever good or bad we did, it's all over. But people who are either in colleges who have just graduated or who are enrolled for master's or PhD, if we don't get that quality right, we are going to have serious problem. And we should not fool ourselves by saying कि इतने $1 billion investment आ गया और आपने यहाँ manufacturing शुरू कर दिया. There is hardly any real manufacturing. It is basically, fixing the thing together, assembly. So there is no real manufacturing. So जितना investment आ रहा है, we need to understand that a lot of it is like that. Now we talk of R&D. We take great pride and our professors in the top institutions in India. I am talking about people from IITs. I know I have first-hand experience. So they do a lot of good work, R&D work. उन्होंने अपना पायलट प्लांट में काम कर दिया, पेपर दे दिया, छाप दिया, कॉन्फ्रेंस में जाकर अटेंड करके, and that thing information is filed. So unless you commercialize that, whatever you have done in the laboratory has no meaning. And that's enough, that kind of a work which is happening. So we are spending money on that kind of an R&D, but not taking it to the logical step. तो फायदा क्या होगा? So we are not really developing serious technology that we should be developing, and that is where the brain power is going to be used. So we should be worried by first is what is happening and why it is happening. Are we investing enough? Now so much for BTech. बात हुई थी इंटर्नशिप की. Now, yes, we have made internships compulsory. Now, those of you who have interacted with the students in engineering colleges will know कि क्या होता है internship में. Lot of it is, the objective of internship was that people should go and spend time in the industry to see whatever they have studied, how exactly that is used, and if there are other things which they have not studied so far, so that they, when they come back to the classroom, they can study that. In large number of cases, what is happening is the students are doing projects under the professor, so they are actually not going to the industry. Now, why they are not going to industry? There are two big reasons. One is those people who have plans to go abroad, so they prefer कि प्रोफेसर के अंडर में प्रोजेक्ट कर लिया तो अच्छी रिकमेंडेशन मिल जाएगी तो यूएस यूरोप में एडमिशन में इजी हो जाएगा. दैट इज नंबर वन. एंड सेकंड वन इज कैंपस में करने का अदर एडवांटेजेस, हॉस्टल इज टेकन केयर, फूड इज टेकन केयर, यू हैव एक्सेस टू एयर कंडीशन लाइब्रेरी, यू हैव एक्सेस टू एंटरटेनमेंट, स्पोर्ट्स, एवरीथिंग. वेदर यू गो टू द इंडस्ट्री, फर्स्ट इज यू हैव टू फाइंड अ प्लेस टू स्टे, हाउ डू यू कम्यूट, हाउ डू मेक अरेंजमेंट्स फॉर फूड, सो दैट इज स्लाइटली टफ लाइफ. जो पर्पस था इंटर्नशिप का, दैट इज नॉट एक्चुअली हैपनिंग, इट इज गेटिंग डिफीटेड. ऑन पेपर यू स्टिल हैव एन इंटर्नशिप, but college is more interested in a certificate which is an indirect proof that the person has spent time in industry. तो सर्टिफिकेट तो आपको सबको पता होगा कैसे मिलते हैं, और नहीं मिलते हैं तो मेरे को मिलेगा, मैं बता दूंगा कि कौन सी यूनिवर्सिटी में कैसे सर्टिफिकेट्स मिलते हैं. ठीक है. So this is what is actually happening. So इसके अगेंस्ट what I have been propagating all last few years and wherever I visit universities is कि AICT requirement, compulsory requirement जो करने का वो आप करो. It is in your interest, your individual selfish interest to start internships right from first semester. Most engineering students will say, first year में तो कोई engineering पढ़ते ही नहीं है तो हम क्या करेंगे? बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं. And then I give them actual examples that I made my son go through those internships first year, second year, third year. जब वो students को explain किया जाता है, हाँ ये तो possible है, we could have done it. So when you ask them why, they said we never thought like this. क्योंकि हमने सोचना तो बंद कर दिया है. The student is never encouraged either in the classroom or at home to think. He is always told to do what. So whatever is things are possible, and if students does many internships with short durations, he'll get a feel of what is actually happening in industry. नई टेक्नोलॉजीज क्या आ रही है, what communication methods are used, what level of people are working. Majority of the graduate engineers have no idea कि एक डिप्लोमा वाला क्या करता है, एक ITI वाला क्या करता है. उनको वो appreciation है ही नहीं. So what happens is when they go to industry, दिमाग में है I am a degree holder, but the level at which they operate is at the ITI or the diploma level. Okay. They expect an engineer salary, but काम करेंगे ITI या डिप्लोमा वाला. So he says that now to the student you have a choice. Either if you want to operate at this level, you accept this salary, or if you want to operate at a certain higher level, then you better deliver what is required. और वहाँ पे student expose हो जाता है कि 4 साल मेरे को जो पढ़ना था तो मैंने किया नहीं, अभी क्या करें. So many such students, when they find life difficult, what they do is postpone करो decision, enroll for an MTech, with the hope कि 2 years you will find a solution to this problem. और अधिकतर केसेस में वो नहीं होता है, उसका हल नहीं निकलता है. क्योंकि somebody had mentioned कि most people who are going to IITs or NIITs from the tier 2, 3, 4 colleges, वो अपना CV अपग्रेड करने के लिए जाते हैं, तो उनको पहले 6 महीने तक तो यही समझ में नहीं आता है कि IIT क्या है. I have interacted with enough people in IIT Delhi here. They are still thinking कि somebody will come and tell me MTech कर रहे हैं. So that thinking has not changed. So you can expect what's the kind of quality you get, and most people expect कि MTech के बाद higher salary मिलेगा. मैं आपको उम्मीद भी demolish कर दूँ. I met enough people from the old top best IITs in India, where the same company has offered more to a BTech than to an MTech. क्योंकि वो ये मानते हैं कि मेजॉरिटी केसेस में MTech वो करता है जिसको BTech के बाद नौकरी नहीं मिली थी. तो हमारी जो MTech निकल रहे हैं उनकी quality is also a big question. I'm not saying for 100%. There are some very very serious, sincere students who do it, but a large number are of those. जिसको बीटेक के बाद जॉब नहीं मिला, उसके लिए एमटेक के बाद और डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है. Because in MTech you are focusing on a particular smaller area, niche area. So unless you are very good, your employer, the industry is not going to accept you. तो खाली हो जाते हैं. तो फिर क्या ऑप्शन क्या है? Enroll for a PhD. वो join a private engineering college. वो ऑप्शन पैरेलल होता है. और जब तक वो उसमें सक्सेसफुल होते नहीं होते हैं, parallelly they start writing government competitive exams. So just imagine a BTech and an MTech. Many of them are not aiming for IAS level exams. आजकल आता है ना, it can be in an NGO, it can be in a trading organization. जब आप जाके टाइम स्पेंड करते हो तब आपको समझ में आता है. दिमाग में बैठा है इंजीनियरिंग, and I get enough calls from all over India. बीटेक कर लिया, साल भर हो गया, पेरेंट्स आर वरीड अबाउट द किड्स. बच्चे जाके पेरेंट्स को बोलता है मैं ये वाला कोर्स कर लूँ, 1 लाख रुपये फीस है, I hope I'll get a good job. Without understanding कि होगा या नहीं होगा, they enroll, no job, another course, and that's how you have a large number of people, unemployable graduates with bachelors, masters, and another masters and things like that. और फिर जो अफोर्ड कर सकते हैं वो सोचते हैं न्यूजीलैंड, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, कनाडा और यूरोप और अमेरिका चलो, हो सकता है कि वहाँ पे लॉटरी मिल जाए. So this is what the ground reality is. So we should be worried and we should focus on actual quality in the school level, 12th level, and the undergrad engineering level. Now let me tell you about ITIs and polytechnics. It is no different. Because I am involved with some private ITIs, and through another group of people, we are engaged in training of people in polytechnics and the other simple graduates, BA, BSc वालों का साथ. इतना लेवल खराब है, हम can only feel frustrated and can't do anything. So this is the ground reality. हमको जहाँ कुछ करना है वहाँ भी करें. कॉन्फ्रेंस में बड़ी बात, मिनिस्ट्री को ये करना चाहिए और इतने लाख का एम्प्लॉय. People are talking about so many lakhs in renewable energy. Let me tell you, उतने लाख jobs नहीं होने वाले हैं. Because you don't need engineers, you need only few engineers, mostly technicians. हम ये से कोई टेक्नोलॉजी यहाँ डेवलप नहीं कर रहे हैं. Either you import panels, modules, cells, put them together, or you do it here. Unless you actually do R&D and really develop something, वो graduate engineer क्या करेगा? So the world's largest population, largest young population, largest number of unemployable engineers and all other kinds of graduates, we should be worried. हमको कहाँ पे अटैक करने का है. बाकी तो कॉन्फ्रेंस में बढ़िया बात कर सकते हैं, सब लोग कर सकते हैं.
सर इंडस्ट्री क्या कर रही है?
हाँ तो इंडस्ट्री, हाँ मैं बता दूँ, इंडस्ट्री कुछ नहीं करती है. लेट्स बी ऑनेस्ट. इंडस्ट्री को अगर कोई इंटर्नशिप के लिए अप्रोच करता है, टुडे एवरीबडी आस्किंग मेरे को इंटर्नशिप करनी है, समबडी से मेरे को मर्सिडीज बेंज में इंटर्नशिप करनी है. मैंने कहा अगर उनकी रेडी इंटर्नशिप अनाउंस इंटर्नशिप्स हैं, वो तो जिस दिन अनाउंस होती है उसी दिन चली जाती है. सो यू गॉट टू डिसाइड व्हाट एग्जैक्टली यू वांट टू डू, एंड देन यू हैव टू अप्रोच दी कंपनी कि मुझको मैंने ये पढ़ा है, दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट टू डू, दिस इज द टाइम आई वांट टू डू, एंड दिस इज व्हाई यू शुड टेक मी फॉर एन इंटर्नशिप, एंड दिस इज हाउ आई मेक अ स्मॉल डिफरेंस टू यू. ओनली व्हेन द कंपनी इज कमिंग दे विल टेक. और कंपनी की भी लिमिट है, यू नो, दे कैन ओनली टेक अ फ्यू. नाउ लेट मी शेयर द एक्चुअल कंपनी का क्या होता है. I, for my nephew who was doing computer science, I approached a friend in Siemens. क्या उसको इंटर्नशिप करानी है. You know, his first response was, हम इंटर्न्स नहीं लेते हैं. I asked him why. He says ये लोग इनको अब सीखने नहीं आते हैं, इनको एंड में एक सर्टिफिकेट चाहिए, यहाँ पे आके बैठते हैं, we have to provide them a table and a chair and a computer, and ये सारे gossip में टाइम स्पेंड करते हैं, जोरों से बात करते हैं, we get disturbed and we don't get anything extra to talk to them. और इनका इंटरेस्ट नहीं होता है. तो सो इंडस्ट्री का ये रेस्पॉन्स है.
सब लोग ने सीमेंट साइड की इंडस्ट्री में जाना है.
नो हाँ वो जाना चाहते हैं
They
सर।
don't want to go to a smaller industry.
So,
Smaller industries are ready to.
so point is, engineering college वाला when they send their students for internship, they never tell them कि तुमको करना क्या है. Firstly, they never tell them how you will behave there. They don't tell them कि this is what you are supposed to do.
गवर्नमेंट ने
बस उसको भेज दिया नहीं.
पीएसयू में शुरू किया है।
नहीं मैं बता रहा हूँ आपको.
इंडियन ऑयल दे आर स्टार्टिंग फोर्सिंग के अप्रेंटिस रखेंगे फॉर अ ईयर।
वो गवर्नमेंट की अप्रेंटिसशिप स्कीम है.
अप्रेंटिसशिप स्कीम
हाँ,
है।
that's a
उसके
separate
अंदर
scheme.
है।
No, no, वो separate scheme
उसके
है.
अंदर 1 साल के लिए रखते हैं।
नहीं, वो तो गवर्नमेंट की.
उसमें दे लर्न
Yes.
वो हाथ से काम करते हैं।
हाँ उतरते हैं ऊपर ही
हाथ से काम करने because
पर उनको कितनी तनख्वाह मिलती है? उनको कितनी तनख्वाह मिलती है आपको वो भी पता होगा.
8,000।
हाँ तो वो है.
They are giving economic benefit to the company. That's why people are interested.
I know.
But
Because
sir,
I-
वो तो
जैसे
graduate
बताया
engineers.
उन्होंने कि वो chair by chair लेके कंप्यूटर
ठीक है ना? So this is what is actually
Sir,
happening in
in this,
industry.
we will have everything in the track system.
So this is what is happening.
Don't distract this.
ठीक है. Now as far as the actual physical infrastructure in engineering colleges, polytechnics and ITIs, आपको नहीं पता है तो जाके देखिए कि वहाँ हाल क्या है. ITIs में वो पुराने जमाने की इतनी बड़ी लेथ है और उनका गाइडलाइन है कि इस साइज का रूम होगा उसमें आप एक लेथ रख सकते हैं. Today you have smaller size, good quality equipment available in India and abroad. So same facility में you can accommodate more, you can train more people. कोई सोचता नहीं है. वो एक रूल बना हुआ है बस वो चल रहा है. So these are things which need to be looked at. अच्छा कॉल सेंटर से आपको सबके पास फोन आते होंगे. इंश्योरेंस ले लो, बैंक अकाउंट खोल लो और ये खोल लो. कभी किसी ने जानने की कोशिश करी है कि who are these people? किसने पूछा है? तो स्टूडेंट को जो बंदा आपको फोन करता है फिर आपने पढ़ाई क्या करी थी पूछा किसी ने? मैं बता दूं आपको. मेजॉरिटी ऑफ देम आर MBAs. जो काम पहले एक सिंपल BA BCom करता था वो आज के दिन में MBA वाला काम कर रहा है. नहीं है तो आप पूछ लीजिएगा आपका नेक्स्ट टाइम फोन आए ना, should ask them कि आपने क्या पढ़ाई करी थी. ठीक है. So what is going to happen? अच्छा आपको सबको पता होगा IT sector now they discovered this that most people have degrees but no skills. So in IT sector now degrees have become irrelevant. They know get your skill and I'm sure soon this is going to spread to other disciplines also. So people known to you in the family, other circles should impress on people कि भैया अपने बच्चे जो भी हैं रिश्तेदार हैं उनको बोलिए कि रियल पढ़ाई पे फोकस करिए और उनका खाली जो टाइम मिलता है इंस्टेड ऑफ दे आर यूटिलाइजिंग दैट टाइम फॉर बेटर थिंग्स डोंट सेंड देम फॉर ट्यूशन क्लासेस. सुबह से शाम बच्चा उसी में ही दौड़ता रहता है, नो टाइम टू इवन थिंक. फिर कहाँ से दिमाग काम करेगा? एंड पीपल से कि colleges also can't teach everything because the pace at which change is happening, you actually can't teach everything. And they are right also. Up you talk to any professor in any good engineering college or something, he says, we are not supposed to teach what is the latest. We take care of the basics. वो बंदे को basics समझ में आ गया तो then the student should be able to read up. And any amount of courses we cover in the classroom, what is going to happen tomorrow nobody knows. 5 years back, we thought Python was an अजगर सांप समझते थे हम लोग. Today Python is a computer language, right? You never know next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years what is going to happen. This change is going to happen. So unless the individual is equipped to utilize his brain power to understand whatever new is happening, no problem होने वाली है. So as far as I am concerned and I have spoken to many of my friends in US, तो क्या करना चाहिए? ऐसे you focus. Two things are not going to change. The rest everything will change. And what is not going to change is your ability to communicate through words and writing. And your ability to solve problems. Those problem-solving skills. Now, problem can be in the education sector, it can be in the agriculture sector, it can be any other sector. So if you are able to analyze and understand what the problem is and communicate to your colleague, your senior, junior, these two skills are not going to change. Best, your intellectual capability should enable you to learn anything new. हमने जब पढ़ा था तब से अपने भी lot of changes have taken place. I did an export project when my export knowledge was zero. But the company trusted me, based on whatever he has done, he was able to handle that project. 3 साल का project 1.5 साल में complete किया, made a lot of money for the company, and we got an award from Commerce Ministry. Old knowledge was zero. So basically, you have to train people to use their mind power. That is the experience if we can give in school and homes and colleges. That is what is needed. So we should worry about that for future. और बड़ी और जो गवर्नमेंट की NSDC और skill है, less said the better.
Okay, sir.
So this is what I want to say. In future we should worry about these things.
I think this is a time for our. Anyway, delegates should not be a speaker. Just to point out anything, you can give a feedback or question anything so that they will be able to answer within a sentence or two. If your question is more than that, then we will find you from ECI. Sorry.
Sir, Ahmed, I have a question.
Sir, please, sir. Give me the time. Okay, I am so faster than you.
Other can hear. Professor Ahmed, my question is regarding the productivity of Indian agriculture. For example, I read somewhere, I'm not a, but anyway, I was doing my PhD with Professor Michael, who is a food and agricultural engineering, because we were working in the same laboratory in IIT Kharagpur. So there is a way that, compared to India, China, Japan has got lot of, say for example, India I think on an average, the grain productivity per hectare, I think it is 2.4 ton, whereas in Japan it is around 7 to 8 ton, and China it is 6 ton. So what is the overall cause of this disparity between our agriculture and their agriculture productivity?
Thank you, sir.
Sir asked a very genuine question. That's the productivity in India is less compared to many countries. There are the reasons, the practices being followed there, practices being recommended, there is less mismatch. If you talk of India, now you see, we talk of the residue burning. We say that don't go for residue burning. Whatever you use here, so when the practices that actually is being recommended and how much farmers are following that, that's one reason. Second, this soil testing. That has been the major challenge in soil testing. We had been in any soil putting any type of seed, any amount of fertilizer, any amount of water, and then expecting the miracles. The second is the disease management. The disease management, if you see in the different countries, even if you see the China, they have the advisory that now there will be the rain this week, humidity will be this much, the storage moisture should be this much. So when they follow, the farmers follow that advisory is there, the post-harvest loss are less, the disease infestation in seed is less, the germination is better. So it is all, that's what I was trying to convey, that there is the need for having the engineers that can provide the precise information. Right amount, right time, right manner, this is what engineer can do. Rest of technology is there. That's the gap.
No, I have one observation that if you compare an agriculture in Israel, they actually their people are much wise and much hardworking, and they have a main thing is land reforms, because our per capita, the land is so small that any modern agriculture which you want to say irrigation or anything or land leveling etc., they are very fundamental. But how to do it, because our population is so many, and how to do that modernizing of the agriculture. That is my thing.
The small holding, we have 80 to 85% farmers in India is small holding. That's why government is now focusing on FPO, so that they together can manage the area. That small holding is there, and Israel is ahead only because of technology. You see their micro irrigation, the drip irrigation. Maximum area is under drip irrigation. Now you come to our Punjab and Haryana, where rice wheat was not recommended, but it is the major rice wheat growing area. And see the situation to the water. That is what is they are managing the resources better way. Land holding is there, that we cannot change. Even that is further going to reduce. It is 1.16 hectare per householding, and maybe next year you can see 1.4, 1.3, 1.2. It will reduce like that way, one. So that is not going to change. What is going to change? We have to manage the resources better way, better input and better management. That only will improve the yield.
That's like you can have hydroponics.
Yes.
These are the new technologies. Then greenhouse. There's another one. So coming back to the number of people who are engaged in agriculture, because about 65% of the population is in agriculture. We have to reduce that, and the reduction in that population can only come up if we have enough industries. Because alternate employment, if we don't have alternate employment opportunities, this type of scenario will continue.
Okay, any other feedback and questions?
Mr. Ahmed Jogi, Dr. Ahmed Jogi, is India planning to use genetically modified?
Sir, use the mic, sir. Just to use the mic. Just to hold it in front of your mouth, it will be enough.
Actually,
GM modified
yes.
crops is India planning?
It's a policy decision. Actually, I would not like to comment on much. There is a gap between the scientists, between the policymakers, and between the society. Even the court has also now intervened. So what government is thinking and whether they will do it or not, that much I don't have information, because there is a mismatch in the thinking between the
Actually, it is not an engineering problem.
Sir,
No.
let him
Agriculture
answer.
fraud, agriculture, but even now it's a matter under judicial, even the GM.
Yeah, first of all, Dr. Ahmed, the wonderful presentation, but my worry that the India is already water stressed, right?
Yeah.
And around 90% of the fresh water resource is being used by agriculture. Our agriculture water irrigation efficiency is close to 30%. Our need are growing because of population, because of Har Ghar, Nal Jal and industry as such, plus the food production also. Any major engineering interventions are being looked at at a policy level by Government of India, and especially you belong to that premier institute, in terms of enhancing agriculture irrigation efficiency, because if we even save 10% water from the agriculture, we can meet all the demands of domestic as well as this. So any major interventions which are now in the parliament.
Yeah, we were talking in the earlier session about the carbon credits. Let me try to connect it on the scenario. Farmers were growing the paddy under transplanting, where you need to have the flooding irrigation within the field, and it was leading to the GHG emission. Methane was getting produced from the paddy that was under transplantation. Now, Government of India is encouraging farmers that you go for direct seeding rice. There is a direct seeding technology, and you will get the benefit of carbon credits. That way, now through technological intervention, government is trying to encourage the farmers the water saving technology. But what is actually happening, I will tell you why the problem is, there is a family having one pump installed in their field. Now, when there is a land distribution, land is same, it is being distributed, but they will install 4 water pumps. That has to be regulated. And when in that, if there is some subsidy on that, how it is going to be positively affected and negatively affected, that intervention and policy has to be made. Technological solution through same way, this we talk of the aeroponics, hydroponics, these are the water saving technology, we recycle the water. And the third is the wastewater used in agriculture. We have a lot of wastewater coming. So how we are going to use that in agriculture to improve the efficiency? That's at the policy level. That's all. Thank you.
Sir, myself G.S. Dubey. I am having 16 acres of land in Jharkhand, and that is totally dependent on rainy season harvesting. We every year investing money for cultivation, and the bulls and other things are not there, so we are using tractors and tillers. Now problem is there, the climate resilient seeds is not available there. So every year I am losing money. Investment is more and productivity and the price which I am getting is less. Now my family is telling why should we go for cultivation? And we are knocking the door of the government of Jharkhand and government of India. But we are getting only 5,000 per annum sort of, should I call it. But this problem I have addressed to Dr. Rauf Ahmed from ICAR with high hope, so that at least break-even point we get, so that there is no loss. No profit, no loss basis also will go for cultivation. It is 16 acres land only. Thank you, sir.
Yes, when we talk of that's the profitability, actually what is happening, mostly we have in the subsistence agriculture and we have to shift to the commercial agriculture, but there are challenges. Now when we talk of the land you are having, if you see from last 20 years you take, the crops you have trying to grow on those fields and the crops you have tried to diversify. That's the first point. Second is that when we are fully depend upon rain, we have to develop rainwater harvesting structures where we need the civil engineers, soil water conservation engineers to have the rainwater harvesting structure. The third point is there is one major issue in the agriculture system of the country that many people will not be knowing. Agriculture is considered as a state subject. That is the biggest problem. Agriculture this is state subject. Center cannot intervene in the agriculture system of the state because it is state subject. So what as per the priority of the state, what the agriculture ministry of the Jharkhand may be doing, that cannot be much intervened by the center. Same way the education of the agriculture, although it is in the center guided by ICAR, but agriculture is a state subject. Now the thing is that we have to solve the problem because so what I would like to suggest you two things. One, you may like to visit the Pusa Institute IRI. We can have the detail where is the problem actually, what can be done to the maximum possible. Secondly, now we have established one more Indian Agriculture Research Institute in Jharkhand. It means the courses have been started. Two Indian Agriculture Research Institutes in the pattern of IITs, now government is expanding Indian Agriculture Research Institutes. Two have been established, courses have been one is in Assam, one is in Jharkhand. Indian Agriculture Research Institute.
Sir, may I correct my previous question here?
Yes.
He told that 90% of the water resources going, that is not correct. It is 65 to 70%. That goes to the, but it can be reduced considerably.
Yes.
There is a huge loss. And the efficiency is of the order of 30%. Whereas in Japan it is of the order of 65%.
Challenge lies in the efficiency. We have the fertilizers in India, the efficiency of fertilizer is 30%. Whole government is saying reduce the fertilizer subsidy, but nobody is talking to improving the efficiency of fertilizer, nano fertilizer, other fertilizer, improving the efficiency of fertilizer. That is where lies the challenge. Yes, yes.
2 minutes. Okay.
I have knocked the door of Pusa Institute as well as Krishi Bhavan and the commissioner of Krishi Bhavan, Mr. Nayak and Mr. Malik. They have recommended strongly to the Jharkhand government, but this filing and gathering dust. Because I have a low land and I have offered that land for developing water body, but that is also not being done.
That is sir, what I was trying to convey, that it's a state subject. That's why they may be having that when somebody recommends something, how much is the acceptability on the other side, that matters. But keeping things aside, ultimately we have to find a solution that even we can try to have the ground level.
Anyway,
Keeping
think
the-
about it,
yes,
and
yes.
you are a citizen of this country. It is possible for you to write to Prime Minister.
No, I would like to say that
Yes,
we can
sir.
sit and discuss.
Anyway, we have
The crux of all the
That will
problems,
be the last question, and
sir, the crux of all the problems lies in our society itself. As a society, we have to learn how to behave. Government, whether a state government or central government, this party or that party, they are just custodians. They are just the managers, they are just the drivers. हमारे देश में 2000 रुपए चालान लगाना पड़ता है बाइक चलाने वाले पे कि हेलमेट पहन नहीं तो मर जाएगा. That is nowhere to be found in the world. पराली नहीं जलाना. प्रॉब्लम कुछ आपने कहा, practices क्या, what we are preaching, people are not ready to accept it. In fact, कई बार तो क्या हो जाता है, वो मूंछ का सवाल हो जाता है. सर सॉरी, आपका मूंछ है, मेरा नहीं है, तो वो वाला मूंछ नहीं. कि अगर कोई चीज मना किया गया तो जानबूझ के करना है. एक्सेप्टेंस, इनोवेशंस, किसी बात को मानना. प्रॉब्लम सब क्या है? Everybody in India know we have constitutional rights. Nobody knows or nobody wants to understand we have constitutional duties as well. That is
all
the
right,
issue.
exactly. First we have to deliver the rights, then only. Sorry, first we have to deliver the duty, then we have to demand for our rights. Madam, please. There is one. This is a senior person. This is the last question. Our feedback. We will finish it off. No, sir. Sir, will you please go and discuss with the agriculture minister, sir? You know everybody.
Thank you, sir, very much
Please
for
put
your
some question for you.
very interesting presentation and your role of this one. Because initially, IIT Kharagpur first started the agriculture engineering, and we remember how did. Sir, just one curiosity with me. If we go a little back in the history, the East India Company, when it started in Bengal, Calculi actually, making its stay in Bengal. So that particular time, initial period, this company was very much in debt. They had to get a lot of bullion from England to support their war machinery. That was. Then later on, what happened after Lord Wellesley made the settlement plan, it was found that only 33% of the total arable land was under agriculture, and after his settlement, permanent settlement policy, they got a huge land under this one, agriculture, and Jamindars were entitled for title of the land. So that changed the entire history in this way, that fuel, that huge surplus from Bengal, agricultural surplus from Bengal, totally fueled the East India Company to build up its empire over the entire India. So I just wanted to know, are we following this East India Company strategy? Because can we have an expansive agriculture as far as land, getting more land arable under agriculture? Any comments please, because I am interested in history, so just I wanted to know what East India Company got out of agriculture. Can we get the same in the present independent India?
Yes, everybody's leaving.
Sir,
That's all.
yes.
No more questions.
I think it is reverse. We are losing the land. The agriculture land, how much it was arable? You go to the villages, the agriculture land is being converted into construction houses, the urbanization. We are losing the land. In fact, we are not adding any. That's why there is a pressure that land is stagnant. Productivity has to be increased. That's what we were discussing, that productivity is low. Land, it's very difficult because we have urbanization, we have the law of inheritance, one person, three sons, three houses, agriculture field into house, and our youth, they were not interested in agriculture. So that's why parents
no scope for increasing further.
We are trying that degraded land. Degraded land by having proper soil analysis, whether it is be acidic or which crops can be grown. That is being there. But on the other side, the rate of loss of this land is more compared to what we are gaining.
But those agriculture, those lands, the environment of the railways and all areas to be irrigation.
Yes, granted in the irrigation. Yes, we were having Latur district in Maharashtra. That was having the problem with the drought. Now that is being properly irrigated. So
Anyway, Jain Sir, please put the last
1
question.
minute, sir.
Sir.
Railway impacted.
Sir, everybody is leaving right now. Anyway, your feedbacks are very excellent. Please, please stop. Anyway, you have to pay the fine, as I said. The question is extra question.
Like one of
You have to organize such seminar next
One
time.
of the solutions for the industry, the academia, education, is that strengthening of the professional engineering body. Now, each professional engineering body has the trade, the industry, the academia, the individual, as well as the government representative on that. So all these people, if they combine together in one platform looking after one discipline, they can take care of the discipline and really develop that area. Incidentally, we have to develop and we have to see that the professional engineering bodies are strengthened to achieve the desired goal. If you go back to the ancient India, we had guilds, just like what we have professional bodies today. Those guilds were the people who were actually managing the different professions. At that time, because of those